Have you ever purchased something, unboxed it, and immediately felt a sinking sense of buyer's remorse? Maybe it was a new piece of technology, a course you swore would change your life, or an item of clothing that looked perfect online. In the moment you clicked buy, it felt absolutely essential. You justified the expense. You convinced yourself it was a logical, calculated decision. But days later, looking at that same object sitting on your desk, a single, undeniable question echoes in your mind. The truth is uncomfortable, but simple: you didn't make that decision alone. Welcome to the invisible architecture of consumer psychology. In this video, we are going to deconstruct the exact frameworks that multi-billion-dollar corporations use to bypass your logical brain and trigger emotional purchases without you even noticing. Most people walk through life believing they are entirely rational actors. We like to think we buy things because we have a defined need, we evaluate the utility, and we execute a transaction. But decades of cognitive psychology and behavioral economics prove the exact opposite. Almost every purchasing decision you make begins with an emotion, not a spreadsheet. You do not buy because it makes logical sense. You buy because it feels right in the moment, and then your brain works overtime to manufacture a logical reason to justify the transaction. This is the secret weapon of the world's most successful brands. They are not in the business of selling products. They are in the business of selling emotions, status, and identity. Let's break down exactly how they do it. If you want to understand the modern consumer, you have to understand the first and most aggressive psychological trigger: scarcity. Scarcity is the engineering of limited availability. In the digital age, it surrounds us completely. Only 2 items left in stock. Cart closes at midnight. Limited edition drop. Logically, we know that in an era of mass production and digital fulfillment, true scarcity is incredibly rare. Yet, the tactic continues to work flawlessly. Why? Because the human brain is hardwired with a cognitive bias known as loss aversion. Psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky proved that the psychological pain of losing something is approximately twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining something. We don't just want the product, we are terrified of losing the opportunity to have the product. When an item appears scarce, it triggers an immediate, primal response in the amygdala, the fear center of your brain. Imagine you are scrolling through your feed. You aren't actively shopping. But then, an ad appears, a 70% discount on a piece of software, ending in 3 hours. Initially, your logical brain ignores it. Then, loss aversion kicks in. You begin to rationalize: what if I need this next month? What if I miss out on this leverage? The fear of missing out, or FOMO, hijacks your executive function. The mental equation shifts entirely. You are no longer evaluating the utility of the product, you are trying to eliminate the psychological discomfort of missing a fleeting opportunity. Pressure creates haste. Haste eliminates critical thinking. And that is exactly where the marketer wants you. If scarcity forces you to act quickly, the second psychological trigger forces you to act collectively. This is social proof. Social proof is the psychological phenomenon where people assume the actions of others reflect the correct behavior for a given situation. You see this everywhere in the digital landscape. Trusted by 10,000 plus professionals. #1 bestseller. Thousands of 5-star reviews. When your brain encounters a complex decision, it looks for cognitive shortcuts or heuristics to save energy. If thousands of other people have validated a product, your brain assumes it must be high quality. You outsource your critical thinking to the crowd. But here is the danger: in the modern digital economy, popularity is rarely synonymous with quality. Popularity is simply a metric of captured attention, yet your brain evolved in tribal environments where following the herd literally meant survival. To step away from the crowd was dangerous. Today, that ancient survival mechanism is used to sell you trending products. This is compounded by a psychological concept known as the mere exposure effect. Consider how viral products spread today. You see a specific microphone, a skincare brand, or a new piece of software on your feed. You swipe past it. The next day, you see it again, integrated into a different creator's video. Then a third time. With each exposure, your brain develops a subconscious preference for it simply because it is familiar. Familiarity breeds comfort. Comfort breeds trust. Before you have even read a single specification about the product, you trust it. The trend has bypassed your logic simply by existing in your peripheral vision over and over again. We have covered urgency. We have covered trust. But the third trigger is the absolute pinnacle of high-level marketing and copywriting. This is identity marketing. At the highest echelon of commerce, companies do not sell utility. They sell the actualization of your ideal self. People do not buy products. They buy identity. When a consumer purchases a pair of Nike running shoes, they are not simply buying foam and mesh to protect their feet. They are purchasing the identity of an athlete. They are buying the idea that I am disciplined. I am relentless. When someone buys the latest Apple MacBook Pro, they are not just buying a processor and a screen. They are buying the identity of a creator. The unspoken statement is, I am innovative. I am part of the creative class. Luxury brands like Rolex or Porsche do not sell timekeeping or transportation. They sell status. They sell the undeniable visual proof that I am successful and I have arrived. When you are faced with a purchasing decision, the deepest, most unconscious question your brain asks is not, do I need this? The question is, how do I want to be seen by the world? Who am I becoming? Identity is the ultimate lever. It is stronger than price sensitivity. It is stronger than logical need. When a brand successfully aligns its product with the aspirational identity of the consumer, the price tag becomes irrelevant. The most devastatingly effective marketing campaigns do not rely on just one of these pillars. The true titans of industry combine all three simultaneously. They use scarcity to create immediate urgency. They use social proof to build impenetrable trust. And they use identity to manufacture deep, burning desire. When these three forces converge, your logical defenses are completely overrun. You stop analyzing and start reacting, but understanding this architecture does not mean you have to stop participating in the economy. It simply means you must elevate your awareness. Because in the age of endless digital influence, awareness is your greatest leverage. The next time you feel the sudden, overwhelming urge to buy something, implement a strategic pause. Step back for 10 seconds and ask yourself, am I making a logical decision, or am I being maneuvered by scarcity, social proof, and identity? Most buying decisions are not about the products themselves. They are about the mastery of human psychology. When you understand the psychology of copywriting and marketing, you start to see the matrix. They are about the mastery of human psychology. If you have absorbed the concepts in this video, you are no longer just a consumer. You are an observer. You don't just see ads anymore, you decode them. And once you can decode the influence, it permanently loses its power over you.